they gave some scenarios like I have such documents. If I want to detect some things on the document, how would you do that? Such kind of questions were asked. And key steps would be, first of all, like expanding your network. That is main thing. We cannot meet every person, every HR or every manager that, yeah, I'm looking for a job, I'm doing this project, I'm doing this thing. You cannot speak of the same thing. So what speaks for you is your resume. I have seen a lot of people who are getting rejected so many times, but still trying again and again. So that's again persistence and keeping consistent with your efforts. So that would be my advice.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. This side Vivekanand from Cloudyml's team. Welcome you all to another podcast. We have our guest Mrunmayee with us. So she has done M.Tech and now she is working as ML engineer in Zycus. So let's know more about her from her itself. Hi Mrunmayee, welcome to the podcast first of all. So please tell us
Thank
more
you.
about your education background and how you managed to switch to data domain.
Okay, yeah, sure. Uh, so I'm basically from Nagpur. I did my bachelor's from Nagpur College Ramdev Baba. And I did my bachelor's in 2017, where there was no scene of data science or ML at all. But still, like we wanted to do something in data science, so we did a project on classification of symptom classification. Like if given symptoms, what should be the diseases? So it was a group project, and even if we did the project, there was no scene of placement in data science at all. So it was just a step one for me to get into data science. Like I had a hands-on, but the project was in our language. After that, the company that I was placed in, the project was, the company or the job that I was working, I was working for like 2 years at Amdocs. And there the work was not at all of my liking. I mean, it was monotonous and like usual IT work. You get fed up at one point. So after 2 years, I mean, I did a lot of good things there. I did work on like automations. And I mean, the scene now is like your job is kind of getting automated with a lot of data science, new technologies. Similar way, the job was getting kind of automated due to some testing and other softwares.
Technologies.
So that time also I worked on automation, so I got to learn a lot. But then I wanted a change, and I didn't like the like work environment as well much. So then I switched. I mean, I wanted to do my masters. Like from bachelor's only, I gave gate, but I did not. I mean, when you have a job at hand, you don't want to do masters. It's a normal tendency in Indian students. So that's why I did my masters. And after 2 years, like I had job experience as well, and I wanted to like learn more. So I went to NIT Durgapur, and there I could see like what kind of environment it is, and people were working on ML projects a lot. And even in my like second year, my guide, she actually encouraged me a lot, and I got to work on time series data set. So it was a good project, and I got to learn a lot of things. So after that, again, even in 2021 also, there were very less campus interviews related to data science. So again, it was a like fight that you have to search for your own liking job. So again, I mean, I got a job at OFSS, so Oracle subsidiary, but even that role was not related to data science. So then I had to like search for myself, and I got a job at a startup. But my like I wanted to work in this field, so I let the job go, which was at hand from the NIT campus, and I took up my new opportunity. I mean, the hike that you can imagine, like the job that I left and the job that I took after masters, there was very less hike. But my thought was that instead of working at a job, because I had a job experience, and I knew if you want to get out of the loop, you have to start again from the bottom. So I took up the job at a startup, and yeah, there I got to learn a lot of things, like what real how do startups work. Because working at an MNC was my experience previously, and startup was completely new. Like there are, but the good thing is that you have to like you get to learn a lot of things from very young people. Like there are people younger than me, but they were having a lot of knowledge, and even the manager, the leads, they were actually working like very hard. So it was an inspiration, and I got to work there. I was at Hyderabad. I met a lot of people like culturally different and even intellectual people. So that was a good experience. After that, so that job was in procurement domain. So working on documents and stuff. And again, then like actually I got married, so I had to change cities. That's why I came to Pune, and then I gave interviews and then got selected at Zycus. So yeah, now also I'm working on good projects. I mean, I got to like I'm working on Gen AI use cases now. So again, I'm getting to learn a lot of things in this company. So yeah, that's my journey.
Right, right. So how was your interview experience with Zycus?
It was good. Actually, I mean, I don't remember the website, but I was applying through all portals, Naukri, Monster, LinkedIn, everywhere I was applying. And like I don't know, out of nowhere, I got a mail from HR that we want to have an interview with you. And these days, they have a system that they give you a buddy, something like that. So they would be communicating with you like are you good with the interviews, and they will give you overview like this company would have such rounds, and they will keep you in loop every time. So I had my like notice period of 3 months. So usually companies are not accepting such notice period. They are like join immediately or don't do. So that's like that's the scenario. But I mean, luckily they were ready to wait for 3 months, and like after 1 month or so, they used to take a feedback like you're joining, right? Because at times people just leave the job opportunity that they have at hand. So that's why. But I mean, I was determined. I mean, I wanted the city, and I mean, I like the company as well. So that's why. There were 3 rounds. Starting round, I think there was a panel of rounds, and the experience that I had an experience in NLP. So I'm working on NLP only. So whatever projects I worked in, they gave some scenarios like I have such documents. If I want to detect some things on the document, how would you do that? Such kind of questions were asked, and it was a simpler one. Then again, there was a second round with one of the managers at office, and she gave specific scenarios like maybe classification, like in the newspaper, if there are different like articles or related to different topics, how would you classify them? Such kind of scenarios, or so related to embeddings and vector spaces and such like detailed interview happened in the second one. Third one was very difficult actually. I mean, I hadn't worked much on CV projects, but I mean, I had some idea. So it was mix of CV and NLP, and the manager. I mean, it was a grilling interview actually, but yeah, luckily I got selected.
Great, great. So how would you suggest to prepare for the interview? What would be your suggestion for the people who are currently working hard to enter the data domain?
Uh, Actually, this generation is anyways very straightforward. I mean, they know what to do and where to find knowledge and who to connect with. But like key steps would be first of all like expanding your network. That is main thing. Like if I sit here and I don't look for people or jobs, or I am not going to get anything. So your network on LinkedIn or whatever, like wherever you want to expand. Like maybe I'm not that much well versed with Kaggle or GitHub. I mean, I have started recently. So people get job out of nowhere. Maybe like usually recruiters are looking at your GitHub profiles or Kaggle profiles. They are doing very much research on your profile. So having that strong is very important. Having your LinkedIn network is very important. Also following what they are telling. I mean, they share a lot of resources, or there are a lot of podcasts going on like the one that you have. I am also a podcast fan. I mean, I listen to podcast on iPhone. I mean, any podcast app that we have, there are a lot of things going on that we don't know of, and in every field actually. So if I want to keep up to what is happening in the world, because the technology is changing every second now. Gen AI has so many use cases and so many things are changing rapidly. We have to keep up to it. So I usually look at Medium posts and toward data science post. Also, like how people are solving the problems. Actually, even my in during my master's project, I was facing an issue. Like I didn't have much knowledge of time series. I mean, I did Udemy projects. So usually people should do Udemy or any Coursera or any other project courses. They are very useful because I mean those courses are up to date, and and you get like there's so much vast knowledge that you get confused, like what should I start with. So they have a concise topic, concise course notes that you have to go through, and those are important ones. So that can be a step one for like getting started. So then even I did a course on time series data, but I wanted something. I mean, I was not able to get to the point. So I like followed a lot of Medium, like the people who write articles on data science, and I got an idea like, yeah, I can solve my problem this way. So like we should also follow them, and yeah, and keep on searching for. I mean, like I have seen a lot of people who are getting rejected so many times, but still trying again and again. So that's again like persistence and keeping consistent with your efforts. So that would be my advice.
Correct, correct, correct. So see, like you have been working since these many years. So what are your hobbies and what you do to tackle this stress while working?
That's a good question. Actually, there's a lot of stress. I mean, uh, studies and you have home, like work at home and all these things you have to balance, especially for like girls or women. Even after marriage there are things like that. So I usually I mean I was not like before a few years I was very much stressed because of studies and a lot of things happening in my life. But I have found a solution. Like first of all, like it's not just for data scientists, it's not for engineers, it is for everyone that we have to keep our schedule correct. I mean, sleeping late night, waking up late, it's not good for us. So you have to keep your schedule right. You have to get good sleep and good food. That is main thing to have focus. Second thing is you have to find some hobby that is good for your health. So maybe running, yoga, or playing games, outdoor games, not indoor. Chess is good for your brain, but for like even I have like heard that like Carlson also plays some outdoor games to like change his mood. So it's very important that you get out of your home and choose any sport of your liking and spend some time. So it is good for your. I mean, it refreshes your mood, as well as I mean it has some benefits on your health. And actually I mean I have experienced that I have after I have started like getting physical exercise and everything, I have been able to progress and concentrate more. So that's a like advice apart from studies that you should have in your life. So yeah.
Correct. The same thing in the morning I was talking with my team. Wake up early.
I mean,
So
I mean, being engineer basically has this tendency that you sleep late, you wake up late, but I mean, you get your work done. But I have seen that there's kind of this laziness that we have in us that hinders our performance at times. So it is really helpful when you get, I mean, after so many years that I have realized, because see, I'm reading this book, this called as Compound Effect. It says that your whatever you do at your routine work, that will have a very very big effect after years. So if you start an SIP mutual fund right now, after 10 years 15 years you will see the effect. Similarly, if you start exercising or having like at least 1% of improvement in your schedule right now, then you will see it later on. So
correct,
yeah, it is really important.
correct, correct, correct. So the next question is how to apply for jobs. Like already you mentioned, you should develop connections, right? But
Yeah.
still, how we can apply for jobs and how to get that job?
Mm. So first step is your resume. I mean, we cannot meet every person, every HR or every manager that, yeah, I'm looking for a job, I'm doing this project, I'm doing this thing. You cannot speak of the same thing. So what speaks for you is your resume. And I made a mistake. I mean, we had a specific stencil in my B.Tech college that we just used to change our lines in that. The description we used to change, the technical skills we used to change and keep it as it is. But these days, like a lot of, you should like refer some good people's resumes, like how they are presenting themselves, like what are good projects they are doing. And like, I mean, what is present, you show what presently you have done, what personal projects you have done, what official, like in the company what you have done. Those projects are very important because in the interview your knowledge is important, but your practical knowledge is more important. So highlighting those practical courses, like the courses hands-on thing what you have done, is very important. So your resume should speak what are your key technical skills. Second thing, what actual projects, like daily projects. I mean, what work I'm doing from like last 6 months or last 3 months would have more weightage while giving an interview instead of what I did in my B.Tech project, or like maybe there would be questions related to that, but that real world like scenario that you are solving is very important. So that should be given importance. There should be a description maybe as well, like what you're passionate about and things like that. Um, yeah, I guess like that's what. First, so this is first thing, your resume. Second thing is that your resume should highlight what key concepts. I mean, maybe you have worked on transformers or which classification or which clustering. So actually, recently, I realized like, Naukri has this kind of inbuilt feature that if you put on your resume, it tells how effective it is. I mean, they have embedded like Gen AI functionality in it. So like how effective it is, you can, it also gives suggestion that you should do such changes in your resume. So we can do that. That is the first thing. Second thing is applying at multiple like websites, maybe Naukri or LinkedIn. They always say that you have to keep like be relevant, so keeping the latest technology that you have worked on, those projects at the top, and also connecting with people on LinkedIn. So maybe first of all, like they always say that you have to find what is your liking. Like if you want to work on like which domain, so say healthcare or maybe some telecom or whichever field. So you have to find companies which are good for you. I mean, find people who are working at the same role that you are working at, and then connect with them and ask what is your team working on. And I also have such like projects I have done, and I want to connect with you or something like that. And that actually helps, like even people connect to me that I have worked on such things and I want to like apply for a job, or do you have any opening. So that thing second that you can do. And also like Naukri, you have to keep updating your like resume as well as your profile. That is helpful. Yeah, I mean, I have not applied at a very like there are a lot of websites out there, and you can like send out at any website like Monster. So now there are a lot of Fiverr and other websites also that are there. So you should keep on applying. Yeah, and also your past employees, like whoever left your company, maybe they can also help you out that they had similar projects like you and they are also getting some good work. So there also you can try us. And referrals are also important. Like I even asked my previous colleagues that yeah, I am looking for such, like I mean, that's how I used to look for previous jobs. So yeah, that is also one way that you can look for jobs.
Great. Like whatever points you are mentioning in like we have that features inside our courses, right?
Okay.
So like hands-on you mentioned, that is the part of our course, and that is one of the most important unique feature we call. And second one is like you mentioned, like resume you should update, and referral networks. Like Akash sir himself built the course curriculum, like job hunting, how you should connect with and
Yeah.
seek reference, how you can connect with HR and get their email and share your, like developing the connectivity, how to market yourself, right? And you also mentioned like important thing is project. So we have lot of project from all diversified field. It can be like medicine background, like pharmaceuticals, or it can be transport, So supply chain management. So we have so many projects. So thank you for mentioning these points because these are most important.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, these things once we mention, like suppose I have done projects in supply chain management and I am very confident in that, then definitely industry related to that I should opt for and try to
Yes,
give
yes.
interviews.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I have experienced this while my job searches that because I was in a procurement space, that's why even like the employers are also looking for people who have such relevant. So when I was applying for maybe healthcare or other jobs, I mean, even banking is very important. They usually ask, have you have had a banking experience before? And it's not always possible that you have done any banking like jobs. So at that times, your relevant projects, maybe you can have a varied list of projects so that you can like show. Yeah.
Definitely, there is fraud analysis and credit
Yes.
risk. So those kind of projects can be done, which is related to banking. Great, great. So what would be your suggestions for the people who have fear for programming language? Though they come from a non-tech background, but have lot of fear. Once they hear the name Python, it is like they imagine that it is really a snake itself. Okay, that kind of fear they have. So what
Yeah.
are your suggestions?
Yeah. Actually, I have had such friends also who have been in different like mechanical branches or civil branches who want to change. And the thing is that anyone can start coding. I mean, it's just a mindset. If I say I cannot run, I cannot run totally. If I say I cannot play table tennis, actually, table tennis is difficult. I have experienced this. So, if I have that mindset, it's like the step one to cross that barrier of your own mindset. I mean, that's how everything in life is. So, those who have this fear, first of all, they have to tell themselves that if I try, I can get over this. So if I say like actually I recently started playing badminton. I always said no, I don't like to play. I am a bookworm. I don't want to play anything. But I gave up that thought that I cannot. I started playing, and you need to have someone who would motivate you. Second thing, I mean, even if I get started and if I fail at my step one, I would give up. So there has to be some force behind you. Maybe you only set up a motivation thing behind you, or you have someone, friends, family. My husband is a big motivator in my life. So there has to be someone who would say, yeah, you can do it. There's no issue. And I mean, this thing I have experienced myself that uh, I have failed a lot of times, not just at every point. So keep trying. And these days, so there are a lot of YouTube videos and like lot of resources out there who give such tutorials like for coding. And always start with a basic one. Like
Correct.
do very simple coding. Don't look. I mean, even I get overwhelmed when I look at some codes on Kaggle because they are very like cryptic. I feel like at times. So start with basic things. I mean, what we had in our engineering college, very small. Like they used to just give patterns, just write a for loop. Such small things, if you get started, over the time we get experience. And I mean, होना तो है, पक्का है. तुमने decide किया है, you are going to get to that point. So
Correct.
there's nothing to fear. And actually, like I would recommend a book. Like there's a book called as Growth Mindset. So everyone should read that. It actually tells us like we have those kind of barrier in our head and we have to move on with them. So yeah, for anyone who fears it, you have to first do it, try it. If you fail again, try it. Then say tell kiya okay. If at the end you are anyways not going to succeed, then okay, fine, let it be. Yeah.
Correct. So more and more like whatever you mentioned, that is correct. More, we should be first of all determined
Yeah.
that I want to learn whatever the case may be. Then there are people to help you.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, if we don't have people, we can seek for mentors. Like,
Definitely.
I'm facing such issue. Can you help me out? And I mean, in my career, I have experienced this thing that, I mean, I was lucky enough that I got to work with people who are always happy to help. Like, even my lead, my managers, if I ping them, maybe after 1 or 2 days, they would respond. Not even just people from my project, other people also who are maybe from operations or anyone. And if I want to get to know what are you working on, I want to get to know about this thing. Just you have to put a question and the answer would come. It's kind of putting things in universe and the like you will get your wish done, something like that.
Correct.
So it's just that we need to ask for things.
Correct. Okay, thank you so much. You have shared a lot of information. So thank you everyone for watching the podcast also. So we'll meet again in another podcast.